All right, y'all, here's your daily John Paul Miller sermon. This one is about loyalty, which he knows a ton about, doesn't he? Notice my sarcasm. Notice all of the things he's saying about being loyal to your family, loyal to your spouse, loyal to everybody, but yet he was the one who cheated in both of his marriages, allegedly. Just listen to this.
We have security all through the church. If your cell phone goes off, they will shoot you. Listen, I don't care how good of a Christian you are, you will cuss. It can be Saturday night and you know you got church in the morning, and you can be the pastor and you will cuss out loud. I know that for some of y'all it's kind of boring to hear somebody read the Bible and y'all just lost your seats up here next Sunday. Your role is to support me. My father's trying to have you killed. I swear by the living Lord that I won't have David killed. Be loyal to each other. Be loyal. A loyal person, they have your back, whether you're right there in their presence or whether you're away from them. A loyal person, they won't give up on you no matter how many times you fall. A loyal person, they'll stop other people from talking bad about you in their presence. A loyal person, they'll stand by you while everybody else walks away from you. A loyal person is with you in the good times, and a loyal person is with you in the bad times. All we want to do is win and get what we want. You got to be loyal to your friends. Not everybody in your life is a friend, just so you know, real quick. Some of you got people in your life that you need to be away from and not be around, okay? People that you know your destiny is divinely linked with these people. Somebody that was holding their arms up behind the scenes. You didn't even realize what they were doing for you, what they were praying for you, how you got to where. No one in this room is a self-made person. Every one of us got to where we're at because somebody else was our Jonathan. Because somebody believed in us. In fact, just take 15 seconds right now and just think about the person in your life, the grandparent, just for a minute, just think about that person that had their hands in the air and somehow assisted you or encouraged you or called you at the right time, did something, helped you get clean from whatever addiction you had. You wouldn't be here today if I told you not to go. You could have been killed. He's going to say, let me introduce you to my friend Jonathan. I would have never made it if it weren't for him. Be loyal to your family. And I know family is a very tough... I intentionally chose that as number 2, if you know what I mean. But anyway, every family is dysfunctional, just so you know. Everyone. Our family, we put the funk in dysfunction. Our family did, okay? Every family's got problems, okay? Being loyal to your family, it doesn't mean that you approve of their actions. It means we show them the same mercy we want God to show us if we were to do something that people don't agree with. And it means we never talk bad about them no matter what. At any point, anywhere, unless it's right to their face in a closed room. Okay, that's what it means to be loyal. And it's very important that you see if there's strife, you don't just think, oh, it'll go away. You deal with it immediately. It's like a crack in a dam and the water will explode. We're not getting along and we're going to start hating each other and we're not going to be loyal to each other. We got to do something. We need to separate. I just want you to see it is biblical to separate from extended family in times of strife. In other words, you don't have to see them every day. You don't have to answer the phone every single time they call. I love you enough to let you be right. Even though you're wrong, I love you enough to let you be right so we can have peace. If that means we just see each other on Christmas and Easter, whatever it takes for us to love each other, be loyal to each other, and not, totally destroy each other verbally, we're going to do whatever it takes. You can be loyal by being kind and affirming without doing every single thing they ask you to do, all the time. So understand that. She may not know who I am, but I still know who she is. That's loyalty. And it's very, very difficult. Very difficult. Family has each other's back the whole time. Okay, they don't, if there's something negative that needs to be said, they do it to your face. They don't do it anywhere else. They don't do it on Facebook. They don't do it at work. They don't do it. They do it right to your face. Okay? If you'll fight, then God will fight. You want God to fight for your family, you need to fight for your family. You need to do your part to get them in church. If not, you come to church without them until they finally come. You do your part, and then God will do his part. I see too many parents who had children and don't take care of the children. I know a lot of fathers, they'll get a woman pregnant, and that's it, and they're done. If you have a child, you need to do everything you possibly can to make that child's life better and to take care of that child. You need to, if the other parent's raising the child, you need to give them money. I don't care if the government said yes or no. You need to help that. Whoever's raising the child, they need money to help raise that child. Be loyal. You did your part to produce the child. You better do your part to help take care of the child. Don't be a deadbeat dad. But I'm 44 and my grandma's still alive, 95 years old. I talk to her every week. Last week, she called me this time, and she just starts laughing about something. I mean, she laughs so hard, 95, and she said something, and she didn't think it was funny when she said it, and I thought it was so, she said, no, if you feel like you're 85, that's still bad. Like, even if you just feel 95, it's bad, okay? She'd tell me to preach to her. So I'd get out my King James Bible, and I'd read the scriptures. And she'd say, louder, I can't hear you. And I'd say them as loud as I could. And when I got done, she'd say, take up an offering. Take up an offering. I stepped in gladly. She didn't have to ask. I could have gone on more vacations. I could have bought more comic books. You know, I'm going to do what I can to help her. You know, and we all have somebody like that in our life, right? Don't forget about your family. If you're a part of Solid Rock, I want you to know something. We got your back. We got your back. We're not going to let people defame you or talk bad about you. Now, if you're doing something stupid, we'll pull you behind closed doors and we'll tell you you're doing something stupid. And we'll see what we can do to help you change that habit or whatever's going on in your life. But otherwise, we got your back. And we believe the best. And we don't just believe whatever, somebody would say or what. I've had so many times where someone's come to church and their ex or whatever, and they want to call me. Let me tell you about my ex. He's in your church. You better watch out. I don't listen to none of that stuff at all. I don't even care. It doesn't even bother me. First, can you thank God that he quietly covers all things in your life? And he doesn't post his just be glad that he quietly covers your life, okay? Boy, if God had a Facebook page, right? I've learned something over the years about people. There's something wrong with a person's character if opportunity controls their loyalty. In other words, if they're like, oh, I got your back when you're doing everything I want you to do, and I think you're great as long as you listen to my advice, and I really support you, as long as you do A, B, and C, and you act this way and everything, but the minute you don't do what I want, or the minute you don't follow my instruction, or the minute I think you're doing something wrong, then I'm turn my back on you. That's the problem with the person's character right there. That's a heart issue. And the quicker you get away from people like that, the better off you'll be. Why are you wasting your time? Why do you keep following them around, doing things for them? Don't you have dreams of your own? Don't you have things that you want to accomplish? Isn't there a Goliath that you want to slay? My destiny is tied to my loyalty. I am loyal to you when it's easy, and I'm loyal to you when it's tough. I'm loyal to you through thick and thin. I'm loyal to you in the good times when everybody's shouting your praises, and I'm loyal to you in the bad times when you're old and near death. I'm going to stick to you because this is part of my destiny. Not about me. I can't write my life story without including you. You can't write your life story without including me. I think that our lives have been divinely linked together. Loyal people always get promoted. I told you, when I was in high school, I got kicked out of Socastee, and I kicked out of Calvary, and then, my dad started a school, and he kicked me out 3 times and let me back. But Reverend Randall, he's the one that, he was one of my teachers, and I treated him horribly. I mean, I was unsaved. I was a redneck and rebellious, and I treated him so horrible. I mean, horribly. I feel like God wants me to pastor, and he helped me with the 501(c)(3). He spent thousands of dollars helping me get started. I never paid him. As I started to grow in ministry, church was growing, and these other pastors from around the area, the U.S., they would see me or hear me. It got to the point where one Sunday in 2015 for Easter, we had 1,100 people in service. I was 34 years old. This was 10 years ago. And I was starting to get a big head. I was starting to get very, very prideful. The thing about pride and mental illness, or I think mental illness is probably the most horrible thing we can face in our bodies, and pride is probably the most horrible thing we can face in our spirits. And here's why. When you're mentally ill, it's the one sickness you have that you don't know you're sick. And you have to trust people around you because you're saying, no, they're lying to me. They're telling me I need medicine. I don't need medicine, because the thing that's sick is your mind, and your mind is what you need to realize that you're sick. But you don't know you're sick because your mind tells you you're not sick, and your mind is the thing that's sick. When you got pride, you don't know you got pride because you got pride because pride covers up the pride. You understand? I've had a few people tell me I was getting prideful, and not prideful jerk, whatever. They didn't come to me lovingly and say, hey, we really need to sit you down because, you seem to be getting kind of arrogant and stuff like that. So I started getting really, really prideful. And the Reverend Randall, he's not really a pastor so much as he is an evangelist and an outreach. He's on every board in all of the river. His church is very, very small. So I had this one pastor who wanted to oversee me, and he would fly me all over the U.S. with him. I was in my early 30s to help train other pastors. And I felt so special. I felt very, very cool. And the church was growing. We had 1,100 people in service. That week, I called Reverend Randall and I said, I don't need you anymore. I got other pastors that want to help me. They got big churches and they think I'm going to do great things, and I don't need you anymore. Can you imagine the pain I caused that man? He's a very godly man. If he wasn't godly, he was probably thinking, you tall, white, skinny little jerk. You little prick of a toothpick. Oh, I could snap you in half is probably what he's thinking. All these years I helped you and I poured out for you and I came to you and I did this and I did that and I helped with every problem you ever had, and now you're going to kick me to the curb because you think you're some kind of hot shot. Pride goes before a fall, right? So I fell, and I fell hard. All those other pastors left me just like that, and I went from 1,100 to 12, and I left ministry. Months went by and I felt like God called me to come back and start a new church, Solid Rock at Market Common. Guess who I called? I called Reverend. Guess what he said? I'll be right there. He acted like nothing had ever happened. So I said, I'm so sorry. I was so arrogant. He said, I don't even remember it. That's loyalty. It's so easy to be loyal when everything's going your way and you agree with everything. And when we're loyal, that's a sign of our character, our integrity.